Number 15. If you drop a penny from a skyscraper, it'll kill someone. Ah yes, the urban legend of financial manslaughter. You flick a penny off the Empire State Building and somewhere 86 stories down, someone's skull explodes like a watermelon. Except physics says, not quite. The coin might flutter, tumble, or even drift like a lazy leaf. You're not dropping a bullet, you're dropping a glorified metal frisbee. Pennies are flat, light, and incredibly unaerodynamic. The moment you drop one, air resistance says, not today, and slows it down to a terminal velocity of about 25 to 65 mph. That's fast enough to sting or maybe raise a bump, but not fatality fast. Now, could it hurt if it hits your eyeball or temple? Sure, but deadly is a stretch. Plus, city buildings like the Empire State Building have barriers and observation decks designed to prevent coin-tossing assassins in the first place. So if you're clutching a penny at the top of a skyscraper, maybe just keep it. It's safer for everyone, and honestly, you might need it for parking later. Number 14. Hair and nails keep growing after death. This one's creepy, dramatic, and totally wrong. You've probably heard it in spooky stories. Even after death, his hair and nails kept growing. Cue lightning, but what really happens? Shrinking skin. After death, your body dehydrates. The skin pulls back, making hair and nails look longer, like a grim optical illusion. Nothing's growing, there's just less flesh in the way. Hair and nail growth require metabolism, which, spoiler alert, stops when you're dead. No blood flow, no oxygen, no nutrients, ice, no salon appointments in the afterlife. This myth sticks around because it's freaky and people love a good horror visual, but it's just post-mortem physics, not zombie grooming. So no, you're not going to wake up 6 months after burial with a full Viking beard. At best, your ghost will look exactly like you did, only with fewer wrinkles and more drama. Dead cells don't grow, they just settle. Number 13. Humans have 5 senses. Sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch. That's it, right? Just the big 5, neatly packaged for elementary school worksheets. Well, no. Your body is way more complicated than a kindergartner's science quiz. Modern neuroscience agrees that humans have at least 8 to 14 distinct senses. Some argue up to 20 plus. Welcome to the sensory buffet. Let's meet a few underrated ones. Proprioception, your sense of body position. Close your eyes and touch your nose. That's proprioception. Equilibrioception, your sense of balance. That's your inner ear whispering, please don't fall down the stairs. Thermoception, your ability to detect temperature. Otherwise, you'd never know when to say, who touched the thermostat. Nociception, aka pain. Yes, pain is its own sense, because your body wants you to definitely know when you've stepped on Lego. Even hunger and thirst are considered internal senses, your body yelling, hey, we need stuff, fix it. So no, we don't have just 5 senses. That idea is older than powdered wigs and was originally Aristotle's hot take. He also thought the brain was a cooling device for blood, so maybe don't take his anatomical advice too seriously. Basically, your body is a sensory megastore, and the 5 senses are just the popular kids with good PR. Number 12. Touching a baby bird makes its mom abandon it. Cue every kid's forest drama. You find a baby bird on the ground, gently pick it up, and someone yells, no, the mom will smell you and never come back. Instant guilt, lifelong trauma, classic. And guess what? It's totally false. First off, birds in general have a pretty weak sense of smell. They're more about vision and sound. If they do smell you on the baby, they probably don't care, because brace yourself, most bird moms aren't that petty. What's actually more likely to make a parent bird abandon the nest is excessive disturbance. Like, say, a bunch of noisy humans crowding around and taking selfies. That'll do it. But gently returning a fallen chick to its nest, that's often the right thing to do. Wildlife experts and rescue organizations regularly handle baby birds to return them safely, and the moms, they come back. So the myth isn't about biology, it's just fear-based folklore designed to keep kids from grabbing random wildlife, which, okay, is a noble goal. But let's not emotionally scar people over fake olfactory abandonment. If you see a baby bird, you can help it. Just don't build it a condo and name it Steve. Number 11. Vikings wore horned helmets. Listen, we all love a dramatic helmet. 2 big horns, iconic, instantly recognizable. Also, historically, wrong. There is no solid evidence that Vikings actually wore horned helmets in battle. The myth comes from 19th century opera productions, where costume designers wanted something bold and dramatic. Wagner's operas especially cemented this image because nothing says epic Nordic warrior like impractical headgear that doubles as a cow impersonator. Real Viking helmets were way more practical, usually just rounded or conical, made of iron, and shockingly not designed to get snagged on everything. Horns in battle. Yeah, no, that's just asking to be grabbed and yeeted into a fjord. Archaeologists have found ceremonial helmets with horns from way before the Viking era, but those were likely religious or symbolic, not for invading villages. But hey, the myth lives on because it looks awesome in cartoons, costumes, and NFL logos. And let's be honest, if you're gonna cosplay as a Viking, a regular metal hat just doesn't bring the same energy. So yes, horned Viking helmets are fake, but they're fake in a fabulous way. Number 10, sugar makes kids hyper. Brace yourself, because we're about to take down one of parenting's most sacred warnings. No candy, or you'll bounce off the walls. Well, it's not the sugar, it's everything else. Study after study has shown that sugar doesn't actually make kids hyperactive. Researchers gave kids sugary snacks and others placebo snacks with no sugar. Parents and teachers still reported the sugar kids as wilder, but the twist, everyone was tricked. The groups were the same, it was just perception. Turns out, it's not the sugar causing chaos, it's the situation, birthdays, holidays, Chucky, cheese. These events are already chaos generators. Add in excitement, music, other feral children, and yeah, your kid's gonna act like a caffeinated raccoon regardless of glucose levels. Also, the placebo effect is real. If a parent thinks sugar makes their kid hyper, they'll notice every twitch, bounce, and high-pitched giggle, confirmation bias in action. Now, does sugar have some effects? Sure, long-term, excessive sugar intake isn't great for health, attention span, or dental futures, but moment-to-moment sugar rush, that's the birthday party talking. So let your kid have the cupcake. Just don't blame it when they start doing backflips off the couch. That's just being 5. Number 9, your tongue has taste zones. You probably learned this in school. The idea that your tongue is like a weird little map with clearly defined zones, sweet in the front, bitter in the back, salty on the sides, sour somewhere in the middle, and umami just awkwardly crashing the party. Yeah, that chart total bunk. The taste map came from a misinterpreted scientific paper back in the early 1900s. One researcher found slight variations in sensitivity across the tongue. Then some overexcited textbook illustrator turned that into a neat diagram, and science teachers everywhere just rolled with it. In reality, all your taste buds can detect all 5 basic tastes. Sure, some areas might be slightly more sensitive to certain flavors, but your tongue isn't a flavor mosaic. It's more like an all-purpose sponge with a full menu of options at every table. Also, taste is way more complicated than just tongue zones. Your brain, your nose, your saliva, and even your memories all join the party. Ever notice how nothing tastes right when you have a cold? That's because your nose is 100% flavors hype, man. So next time someone tries to sound smart and points to their tongue to explain taste zones, feel free to hand them a lemon wedge and say, try this on your sweet spot. Spoiler, it's gonna taste sour everywhere. Number 8, bats are blind. Blind as a bat? Really? Then how are they so good at flying 40 mm through a pitch black cave without smashing into each other like clumsy pigeons? Here's the truth, bats aren't blind, not even close. In fact, many species can see better than humans in low light, and on top of that, they've got a built-in sonar system echolocation that would make a submarine jealous. They squeak, the sound bounces off objects, and boom, they see with their ears. So yeah, bats are basically flying sound-powered radar drones in tiny furry capes. Some fruit bats even rely on vision more than echolocation because their eyes are huge, you know, for spotting fruit in the dark, like fuzzy grocery shoppers of the night. So why the myth? It's probably because they fly at night and don't stare you down like a hawk. Also, people freak out when something flutters by their head, and they just assume it's lost and blind. Nope, it's just not interested in you. If anything, bats are too good at navigating. They'd probably avoid you better than your ex avoids emotional conversations. Number 7, the Great Wall of China is visible from space. A+ nationalism, F astronomy. This one sounds amazing. You can see the Great Wall from space. Like astronauts are up there squinting through windows going, yup, there it is. That one skinny brown line in a country-sized continent. Except, no. You can't, at least not with the naked eye. The Great Wall is long, yes, but it's also narrow and made from materials that blend in with the natural landscape. From low Earth orbit, where the International Space Station is, astronauts can barely make it out and only under perfect lighting and atmospheric conditions. Meanwhile, you can see highways, airports, and giant greenhouses because they contrast with the land more. So technically, yeah, with zoom lenses and filters, and if the lighting hits just right, maybe a small piece of the wall is visible. But from the moon, forget it. You'd have better luck spotting your ex's emotional baggage from orbit. It's a beautiful myth, and one that boosts cultural pride, but let's retire it and give the wall credit for what it is: one of the greatest feats of ancient engineering, not a space billboard. Number 6. Cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. Crack. Oh no, you've doomed your joints forever, or not. Let's clear this up. Cracking your knuckles is not summoning arthritis demons into your fingers. It's just gas bubbles, that satisfying pop sound. It's nitrogen bubbles in your joint fluid collapsing. Basically, it's your synovial fluid throwing a tiny party. Multiple studies, including one from a guy who cracked the knuckles on one hand only for decades, that's commitment, found zero difference in arthritis rates between poppers and non-poppers. His reward, a science paper and probably one very confused handshake. Doctors have said it might cause mild swelling or decreased grip strength if you do it compulsively all the time, but arthritis, no dice. The myth probably sticks because older people used to say it like a sacred curse: stop or you'll regret it. But it's less medical advice and more I find that sound annoying. So go ahead, crack away. It's your joint's version of bubble wrap. Slightly gross, mildly addictive, and totally harmless unless you're in a library. Number 5. You swallow 8 spiders a year in your sleep. Oh cool, nightmare fuel disguised as trivia. The idea that spiders just march into your open mouth while you're asleep, like it's an Airbnb with terrible reviews. Yeah, total nonsense. Let's break it down. Spiders hate humans. Your mouth, wet, loud, vibraty, and exhaling carbon dioxide, basically a haunted cave of death to a spider. No self-respecting arachnid is voluntarily spelunking into your humid snore zone. This myth likely started as a prank in the early days of the internet, aka the Wild West of facts. A writer reportedly made it up to prove how easily people believe anything online. And guess what? People believed it. Hard. Also, there's no evidence, like 0 documented cases. If this was a real thing, wouldn't someone have woken up mid-crunch and screamed their way into a journal article? Now, is it possible to swallow a spider in your lifetime? Sure. Is it happening 8 times a year? Only if you're sleeping in a tarantula petting zoo with your mouth open like a pizza oven. So sleep tight, the only thing crawling into your mouth is the weight of false facts. Number 4. Shaving makes hair grow back thicker. The sacred lie told to every teenager who dared to pick up a razor. The idea that if you shave your legs, arms, face, or, I don't know, your neighbor's cat, it will come back darker, thicker, angrier, like vengeance hair. This myth survives because of an optical illusion. When you shave hair, you're slicing it off at its thickest point, leaving a blunt tip. That tip feels coarser and looks darker, not because the hair changed, but because you turned it into a flat, angry stump. Also, shaved hair hasn't had time to be sun-bleached, so yeah, it might look darker. But biologically, it's the same keratin tube it was before. Shaving doesn't affect hair follicles or growth rate. If it did, bald guys would have figured it out by now and just shaved harder. So the next time someone gasps, "Don't shave, it'll grow back worse," you can calmly respond, "No, Susan, it's just geometry and lighting. Calm down." Shaving doesn't make hair grow faster. That's just your paranoia, and maybe puberty. Number 3. Lightning never strikes the same place twice. Sure, and cats always land on their feet, and gum stays in your stomach for 7 years. Let's crush this myth with the fury of Thor himself. Lightning absolutely strikes the same place twice constantly. In fact, it prefers to. Tall objects, metal structures, and anything remotely grounded are lightning's favorite hangouts. The Empire State Building gets hit around 20 to 25 times a year. That's not never, that's a frequent flyer program. The myth probably exists because someone thought, well, odds are, right. But this isn't roulette, it's physics. Lightning follows the path of least resistance. So if a bolt has a good experience with a tall building once, it's basically like, heck yeah, I'm coming back. Even trees, poles, and poor unsuspecting golf courses have repeat visits, so if you're ever in a storm, don't stand next to something that's already been hit. That's not safe now, that's a lightning magnet. Basically, this myth is the meteorological equivalent of lightning has commitment issues. It doesn't, it just has favorites. Number 2, humans only use 10% of their brain. Ah yes, the classic Hollywood-approved pseudoscience. The idea that if you unlocked 100% of your brain, you'd suddenly levitate or speak fluent dolphin. Spoiler, you already are using 100% of your brain, just not all at once, because that would be a seizure. Here's the truth. Brain scans, the fancy glowing ones you see in documentaries, show that virtually every part of the brain lights up at different times depending on what you're doing. Whether you're solving a math problem or trying to not cry in a public restroom, your brain is multitasking like a caffeinated octopus. The 10% myth probably came from early neurological studies where scientists didn't understand what certain parts of the brain did yet. So instead of saying, "We don't know," they went with, probably not important, as if evolution handed out bonus brain space just for kicks. The real kicker, if you actually weren't using 90% of your brain, you'd be in a coma, or a plant, or dead. Not unlocking hidden potential, just unlocked nothingness. So no, taking a pill won't give you superpowers. You are already at maximum brain mode. Congratulations, you're the full version. Number 1, goldfish memory is not 3 seconds. You've probably heard that goldfish forget things after 3 seconds, like they swim past a rock and go, "Wow, nice rock," then loop back around and go, "Wow, nice rock. Cute idea, total garbage." Turns out, goldfish are not memory-deficient little orange idiots. They can remember things for months. In fact, scientists trained goldfish to press a lever for food at certain times of day, and they remembered for weeks. That's not 3 seconds, that's a full-blown meal planner. This myth likely started because someone saw a fish looking mildly confused in a bowl and thought, "Ah yes, no object permanence," but really, fish bowls are just terrible environments for any creature with a brain and the will to live. And yes, goldfish have brains, and they use them. They even recognize faces, navigate mazes, and avoid areas where they were previously spooked. That's more emotional intelligence than some people have on Mondays. So next time someone uses goldfish memory as an insult, feel free to correct them with, "Actually, Karen, goldfish remember better than your last 3 relationships." Basically, we've been slandering fish for years and they deserve an apology. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.